pages online. This is a special edition called Tuesday's Tips. Every Tuesday we're going to post a new tip on how to use our special sponge painting system. These are designed specifically to give you additional information as you continue your growth in our program. Let's get a start and take a look at today's tip. Today's tip is going to be utilizing the sponge with what we call the number one move. All we will use the brush for is to just simply mix up the color and clean out the brush. But for today's particular tip, we're just going to use a basic Prussian blue. You can practice this tip all you want with any color you want, however you want. We're going to show you how to do this to make life easy so that you too can paint with our sponge painting system. This is the basic move, which is the number one move. We're going to put the paint right here on the tip. You do not need to cover the whole sponge, just the tip of the sponge. We'll go ahead and put the sponge into the paint. It does not matter which side of the painting you start on, but it does matter that you actually place the sponge here on the tape. Don't place the sponge here at the edge of the tape, because then you're going to have a white edge there. You want to actually get it on the tape and pull evenly all the way across the top. You'll notice I didn't paint across here. That's a mistake. We'll go ahead and clear that up by painting all the way across, including painting on the edge of the tape, so that when the tape is removed, we get a nice clean edge. We'll wet the tip of the sponge, squeeze it out, and then we'll go ahead and just softly blend that in and fade it into the rest of the painting. Now what you'll notice is all I have done is the number one motion. I started on the edge of the tape and pulled all the way across. There is another motion that we can utilize with the sponge with what we call the number one motion. It's called a finesse move. I'll mix up a little bit more paint here so you can see what we're talking about. And I'll slightly change the color by adding some purple to make it be able to be seen a little bit different on today's painting. This is just a practice painting. This isn't a real painting anyway. We'll go ahead and put the sponge into the paint. Same thing, we're going to always start on the tape. But watch what happens. Did you see what I did? See this feathered, tapered feel? This is a finesse move for the number one motion called the lift. It is like the sponge lifting off like a plane, slowly lifting off the page. It is not pull and straight up lift. It is a slow lifting off. You can also do the lift from the other direction. The wonderful thing about the lift is this. Once you wet the tip, squeeze it out, you can come back to where you've done the lift and softly blend that in, and now, whoo-wee, look at this. We have all kinds of soft, wispy clouds that are going through the painting. You can utilize this lift all over the place with all different kinds of motions in the number one motion with the painting sponge with our system. Now there's another thing about the number one motion that you should know. We almost never will start with the sponge in the middle of the painting. It will start either on this side coming into the painting, or on this side on the tape again coming into this part of the painting this way. We never start in the middle, going either way. Same thing when we're pulling down, we would never start in the middle of the page, because that's going to give us a blunt area that is not going to look good for the painting. One more thing about the number one move is this kind of a wavy motion. It's a wonderful thing that you can add to your number one motion. We'll go ahead and utilize it here by mixing up some basic green. And what we'll do is we'll put a little bit of some landscape down at the bottom. This is still the number one motion with a little bit of a flare. We'll just go ahead and push down a little bit harder and wave the sponge across the page. Then we'll use the number one motion to fill it in. And you can see here we have a nice wave, a rolling hill that goes across the page. This is another option for the number one motion. This is the number one motion in variations with the sponge. This is Tuesday's tip. We hope that you have enjoyed this little video and that this tip was helpful for you. For more of Tuesday's tips, check out our website under the free classes for Tuesday's tips. If you want, also check out the full video, which is all about learning how to paint with our sponge system, which is the free video on our website, The Number One Painting. And we look forward to seeing you then. Thank you.